G-I-G-G-S. No. Rhodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at? It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy cars and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up,
Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the home of Rhodri Giggs on football. We are back live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for this evening. We have lots to discuss. We are going to be talking, reacting and discussing Cristiano Ronaldo's controversial interview, the impact it will have across football, whatever. It's going to be a very interesting conversation. We'll also be having a real good look at the opening game of the World Cup. And, of course, then we'll finish up with Wales and England's opening games of the World Cup. The World Cup is here. It is time to discuss those games. As usual, I am joined by the man himself, Mr. Rhodri Giggs. But just before I bring him in, we'll do a little quick Super Six update. The Premier League is pausing for the World Cup. So as anyone who doesn't know, we're doing Super Six Prediction League, raising money for charity. Yet again, and we're doing well. The Premier League's paused for the World Cup. We only had the one round this week, and that was won by Jason Davis with a whopping 19 points. Rhodri got one more point than me this week, 9 versus 8. So he now has a 7-point lead going into the World Cup rounds. The next round is Monday at 1 o'clock. P.S. There's 4 rounds over the World Cup. All 3 of the Wales and England group games, plus the round of 16s. So the games and the predictions are thick and fast. Do not forget. And for those who are watching now on YouTube, please do give the show a share, because obviously we normally do the live video version on Patreon, so people might not be aware that we're free for all on the live video show tonight. So please do share it about. Let the people know. But without no further ado, the man himself, ex-Salford City winger, Rhodri Giggs. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. You?
Very good. I'm excited to discuss stuff tonight, mate. We've got lots to discuss. You know where we got to start. The first thing I want to know is, will we ever see Cristiano Ronaldo play for Manchester United again, in your opinion?
No.
He can't come back for it, can he? Let me phrase that another way.
I think it suits all parties. It's obviously not working out from this year. The manager obviously doesn't fancy him, hence he's not played as much.
But as his performance is justified, if you take away the refusing to play and stuff, when he has played versus the team without him, has he justified starting at the moment? Because he was injured and he was late starting.
No, but you've obviously got to give him games to get him up to speed. And but when he has played, he's missed a few chances. This year you've looked at the chances and thought, "Ooh, the ammonia game could have had an apple." So he's missed a few games where you've gone, "Ooh," but is that rustiness because he's not been playing? So everyone always goes forward back on his 37. He's this, he's that. This is not a normal 37-year-old. It's just not.
No, it's true.
Not.
But United as a team have seemed more
but-
cohesive without him, haven't they?
Yeah, they do. But an unhappy player obviously shows on his performance. A happy player, and you treat him differently, which probably his career respects. And it's just not been dealt the right way, and ultimately they're going to have to go the separate ways.
Yeah, I mean, we'll dive into it a little bit more now, but like we spoke, I think it was about a month ago. You've been in dressing rooms. I've been in various dressing rooms, different sports and stuff. Like, if you have one person who's really unhappy, it spreads. Same way we talked about like Aubameyang at Arsenal. Like, if you've got a bad egg, it spreads. But someone who's very, very unhappy and is vocal about it in a changing room, that negativity spreads. And if you're trying to build and like a team spirit, and the team do seem more together than they have been in previous years, like it can be an issue, can't it? And I think if I'm one of those players in the Man United squad, I'm not happy after looking at that interview, just because it's all of the progress they've made this year. The attitude has been good, pretty good outside of those opening two games.
I think this will work in the favour that the players will galvanise, realise that he's gone, not have that tension, not have that atmosphere. Because touching on your question, I have been in dressing rooms. I've been in dressing rooms with players that are not playing or on the bench, and they're in people's ears because they're not playing, and they're just constantly bitching and moaning, and it can be effective and disruptive in the group. So especially with an ego and a personality like Ronaldo, so it's not been easy. But they've had some good performances and some good results. So he's just not helped himself with this going the way about it. He's gone.
Yeah,
he's just not helped
very
himself.
strange.
Yeah.
Interestingly,
the background is really irritating.
Interestingly, right, is I feel like if he hadn't criticised Ten Hag and said he didn't have respect for him and that, I do feel like the majority of the stuff he said about the actual club and the owners and things like that, I think United fans would have got behind. They'd have been happy that he was speaking out on that stuff. But as soon as I heard him criticise and say he had no respect for Ten Hag, that's a problem, because he's the current manager. The fans are behind him on the whole. He's turning things around. He's got rid of some of the deadwood. There's rumours of him getting rid of people like Maguire and stuff in January, which is what people have been, suggesting, shall we say. And I do feel like that was the tipping point in terms of where United fans specifically would sort of have backed him or understood what he was saying, to maybe being like, no, it's time to go. But you're a United fan, so you'll be able to tell me more in terms of that. But that was certainly an impression I got.
Yeah, I can see it from both sides. But yeah, as soon as you go against the manager, and he's a new manager, and he's doing okay. He's not doing brilliantly, but he's not doing badly. He's doing okay, and he's going on the right track. At Manchester United, I've got to play identity a bit more. He's bringing in quality players. He's getting rid of the bad ones, or the ones that are not up to scratch, that have got us in this position in the first place. So, but yeah, as soon as you go against the manager, and ex-players, yes, they're not really, Wayne Rooney and Gary Neville are bona fide Manchester United legends. Got every right to criticise anything that's going on in Manchester United and have an opinion about it. And these people are alpha males. Not so much Gary Neville, but he's got a mouthpiece now, and he works at Sky Sports, so that's his job. But Wayne Rooney was asking an honest question. I was actually listening to it. It was in Talk Sport, and he was just giving an honest answer. And obviously Ronaldo took it the wrong way, but he's just giving an honest answer. Wasn't slagging him off. Pretty classy reply that Rooney's come back with. So, it's not personal. It was just someone was asking my opinion. I've give it, and he's going to give it honestly. What do you want to do? Lie? He's not going to do that. So, yeah, it's
I thought Gary Neville's response, mate, was pretty.
Yeah,
he did a little interview with Sky.
Yeah, I
and
watched that about a couple of hours ago. Yeah, no, it sounded come across, but that guy Neville's a politician. He knows what to say. So
yeah,
but he was right in what he said. And I had nowhere for really Ronaldo to go or to come back with it. But yeah, you can't go against players like these. These are bona fide Manchester United legends, and they're going to have an opinion. Same as Roy Keane's going to have an opinion. Everyone's going to be different. And Rio Ferdinand. It's just, everyone's got opinion, and people are going to say their piece.
Yeah, and I think interestingly as well is kind of like Guy Neville's job is to give opinions, isn't it? Like it's his job to talk about it. Ronaldo refused to play. He left a couple of times before the games were over. So if he gets asked about that, he can't. If he skirted around it, you'd lose respect for him as a pundit because he's skirting around it.
He is a pundit, but he's also, like I said, a bona fide Manchester United legend, go down in history forever and ever. He was part of the class of '92, and we know what they went on to do. So, yeah, he's loud an opinion. It's a strong opinion. So, and he wasn't really wrong, really.
No, he wasn't wrong at all.
No, he wasn't really wrong, but like I say, I can see both sides.
Yeah, what do you make of he seemed to be saying that the hierarchy at the club, where he missed the pre-season tour, didn't he? Because one of his children was ill. I think it was the baby. And he didn't seem to be saying that it was Ten Hag. He seemed to be saying it was the kind of executives were asking, questioning him about it. And I think there was something about his missus being in a different country at the time or whatever. But like, that's down to you. That is down to United and whoever's.
Well, we know Manchester United's been poorly run. This is not nothing new. It's not a surprise. Yeah. It takes a manager that comes in with a strong mind and a strong opinion, a strong philosophy like Ten Hag to change it. But it's not an overnight change. It's a 2-3 year plan. So, but I'm sure they could put the £500,000 a week somewhere better placed. You could probably get 2 strikers with that, and they'd be more than happy with £250,000 a week. So, it just needs to be sorted out quick. They could have sorted it out over the. You don't really want them to sack him. They just want to come to an agreement where they let him go. But they could be pricks about it and sack him and hold his registration for 6 months.
Well, they could make him train with the kids, mate.
Yeah,
they really wanted to be petty.
I don't think they'll do that because it could get messy. And
they've taken his mural down.
He's in the training facility. It's just you just want him out of there so you can just move on. Look at Aubameyang. They got him out, moved on. 6 months later. 6 months later, it's off the league and they're flying. So that could easily happen with United this time next year. So they just need to act now and get it out of the way. Thank him for his services, and then move him on his way.
I saw that they took down the mural outside the grounds today, and I saw Piers Morgan said it was petty from the football club. But I actually think the reason they've probably taken it down is more to do with they don't want fans to vandalise it.
Well, not vandalising it, but they the owners might say, get that down. They're the owners. They can do what they want. Then they could have rang someone and said, "Get that down off my football club." And that could have been possible. What happened?
Yeah. I think you're right there.
I don't think United fans would vandalize.
No. I just mean kids and stuff couldn't they? But what did you make of the Bruno? Do you see the little clip of Ronaldo was like in the changing room?
I don't really.
I think that was a frosty thing.
Bruno knew the cameras were there. I think it was a little joke between themselves. I don't read anything into it, to be honest.
That's what Bruno said afterwards. They was talking about something to do with his flight, or I don't know. Yeah, but it was just coincidence.
But Ronaldo's probably said, "I've come from Manchester, so have you. Why you were so late?" Yeah, so some along them lines, and it's nothing. Just what this media like, they spin it to and it's 5 different things that could have meant. And it ends up none of them. It's just completely innocent.
I actually think it's a really sad way for Ronaldo's affiliation, certainly for the moment, with United to finish. Because when he came back, like, we all knew he was maybe on the brink of going to City or whatever his agent
Mate, it is at the minute. Sorry to interrupt. It is at the minute, but this is one of the greatest players to ever walk the planet. 2-3 years time, people forget about this, and it'll be, Ronaldo. He'll always be Viva Ronaldo. It's just leaves a poor taste in the mouth. And everyone was buzzing when he got here, and it's just obviously not worked out. But then he's highlighted a few things that need to be sorted. Obviously, the ground, the training facilities, the chefs cooking facilities. So,
yeah, I mean, I know United fans who've been complaining about the state of the stadium for a couple of years, Ten Hag is in a bit of a position now, isn't he? Because obviously I felt like when Ronaldo refused to come on as a substitute, I thought Ten Hag, as a new manager as well, in terms of his Manchester United career, I thought he dealt with that so well in the press conference. He dropped him for the next game. He didn't hang him out to dry.
Then he put him captain the next week.
Yeah, that's what's weird about it. And he was captain in the last game he played. But like
that
he
Ajax, and the kid didn't play for the rest of the season.
It's madness, isn't it? But like I thought Ten Hag, he could have hung him out to dry in the press when he refused to play, and he didn't really. He said
no manager's really going to do that with a top player like Ronaldo on $500,000 a week. It's just you're carrying a dead weight then, and everyone's unhappy, and it just makes the. But
I thought he showed that he was strong as well by dropping him though, and I think
we've seen that. We knew that he was a kind of a disciplinary anyway, but that's what this club needed.
Yeah,
and probably if Ronaldo's going to be the fall guy, then so be it. But if he can get rid of him and sort him out, then you can sort anyone out. And this is what you need. No one is bigger than the football club or the manager. It's just as soon as people start thinking that, then it's see you later.
Well, this is my next question. So we saw Fergie with several players over the years, even David Beckham, who was a homegrown player through the academy.
Yeah, but that one I personally think he was wrong about.
Yeah, possibly, but
David Beckham's performance weren't dipping. He wanted to do it out every night. He wasn't doing. No. It was just that he didn't like the relationship he was in. That's it.
But my point being is, in Fergie's eyes, he thought he was bigger than the club, so we got rid of him. Yap Stam, Roy Keane.
I disagree, mate. I disagree. I don't think David Beckham is a humble person. He would not think that he's bigger than Manchester United.
I agree with you. But I'm just saying Fergie thought that.
No, he didn't. No, he just didn't like the relationship. He didn't want to control him, and he couldn't. He couldn't.
Right, okay. But, Yap Stam, Roy Keane, who was club captain, they all went when they weren't, or they were doing damage to the football club or the team or whatever. It doesn't matter who you are. So I was speaking to a friend of mine who's a United fan today, and he said the obvious thing for Ten Hag to do is to say he never plays for United again. They get rid of him, whatever. Ten Hag comes out very looking strong, blah, blah, blah. However, he also said, on the other hand, if he could have a meeting or something with Ronaldo and say, listen, I understand, they can have he can sort out the relationship where he can get the best out with Ronaldo from now to the end of the season. They can repair it. Ronaldo, a fired up Ronaldo wanting to prove a point for the second half of the season could be a massive asset to United. Do you think there's any way that he could do that, or do you think it's just they've got to cut ties now, which I actually think is what Ronaldo wants?
There's a 5% chance he could do that, yeah, but a 5% out of 95. Why has he done this? He's done it to get away.
Yeah, he wants
He's not done it for the drama. He doesn't need the drama. He's done it to get away, to cause enough of a stir. He's gone off to Portugal, so he don't have to deal with it back home. It's enough time, and then it's December and January, and he can go. So he'll never come back to Manchester again.
Do you reckon? So do you think they cancel his contract, or do you think they?
I don't know. That's the way they've got to go through it. Obviously, look through it. Obviously, see the interview tonight, and then go from there.
Interesting. I actually think it's the best for all concerned. I thought he probably should have gone in the summer. It was clear, even though he never said it
No one wanted
publicly.
him.
Yeah, well, Sporting Lisbon did, but they didn't want to pay what he was getting.
No one wanted
and I
him.
think no one was willing to pay that money, and he didn't want to go to Saudi Arabia or wherever where they would have paid the money.
Can I buy that? Can I go? It's like me going to BMW, going, I've only got, I know the car's 20 grand, but I've got 15 with you.
Yeah.
Pay the rest of me. What?
And I felt a bit sorry for Garnacho, who scored his first Premier League goal, the winner in the game. Yeah. The headlines the next day should have all been about him. They should have all been about him.
The ego, I'll do it whenever I want.
Yeah, and he did it literally after they announced it just after the game, didn't they?
The
like interview.
8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, yeah.
Probably, Piers Morgan's got a bit of an ego as well. So he and let's face it, Piers Morgan is a diehard Arsenal fan. Arsenal top of the league. So of course he wants to, he's not going to say no.
But it makes me laugh when he's talking to him, saying, all these reporters, these journalists, he was a fucking editor for the Mirror, the prick.
I know, he's done some shady shit over the years.
He's the biggest rat in the world.
Yeah, it's madness. Will says last season he was United's best player, but maybe time's catching up with him a bit now.
No, it's not. It's just the start of the season. When you miss a pre-season and you miss a load of games, and they look like what they look like in pre-season, look really good. Then they come back. Martial gets injured. Ronaldo's not fit. They get beat 4-0. They get beat off Brentford. They get beat off Brighton. And it's all up in the air again. So you've got to have hit the ground running. If you don't have a good pre-season, mate, it's hard work. It's hard work. It really is hard work. It is good to get the fitness in, especially when you're 36, 37. So it's just hard work. Don't get a good pre-season and you're just playing catch up until about Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, not so much when you're playing non-league, because it was constant. It's like the Championship. You play Saturday, Wednesday, or Saturday, Tuesday. So you get into the speed of it, and you're only training Thursday, but you don't really do much. But I suppose it's even worse when you're playing for someone like Manchester United, because it's a lot quicker, a lot faster.
So question, mate, because I know you're like. When it comes to the Ronaldo Messi debate, you're like me, Ronaldo every time. Have you lost any kind of respect for him for doing this when he did it, or not?
No.
I'm just wondering.
What is this got? What is this got to do? It's like you go touch like with our kid. What has anything of outside got to do with his football career? It's just not. It's just but people can't. People can't put, what's the word?
Separate that they can't separate.
They can't separate out. That's not the word I'm looking for, but yeah, we can use that. Separate things, But no, it's not changed my mind. No, that's all.
Would you like to see him play for United again and leave on good terms? As a United and a Ronaldo fan, would you prefer to see him, if they could repair it somehow so he can leave on?
Yeah, in an ideal world, they both come together and say, listen, come on, why do you not? We could have a little chat, a grown-up chat. Yeah. I just think it's gone past that now. He's slagging the owners off, saying, I've never met him. There's idiots in the executive who want me out. Blah, blah, blah. I think he's just said too much, and we'll see what he said tonight.
Indeed,
it starts like in a minute.
Yes, indeed, mate. So we're gonna have a good old talk now about the World Cup. Interestingly, it's the couple of days before the World Cup starts, and all the talk is about Ronaldo, which I found really interesting. I'm sure FIFA
imagine he won the World Cup with Portugal. They've got a chance, man. They've got a good side,
Well, they're the current European champions, aren't they?
Yeah, the kid that's in the midfield for Fulham, who looks decent. They've got obviously Bruno Fernandes. They've got Ruben Diaz at the back. They've got Abdallo. They've got decent Bruno Fernandes.
They got that Felix, haven't they, from Atletico?
João Felix, and another decent players. So yeah, they've got a chance as much as anyone. And you feed Ronaldo with his bit between his teeth, and he's in the shop window, and
Well,
you won't get past him.
Would you put it past him to go and get the golden boot, mate, at the end of the day?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Senegal forward Sadio Mane out of the tournament, requires surgery on his knee. He's sustained playing for Bayern recently.
That's a shame.
And this is the problem, isn't it, with the World Cup being where it is. There's obviously a knee injury could have happened at any time and surgery and stuff, but there's a few players missing, so it's difficult. What are you looking like when you look at this World Cup outside of the Wales, the England and stuff like that, and the big players? What team are you looking forward to watching outside of the usual ones?
Argentina and Brazil.
Yeah, it feels like ages since I've watched
Brazil. Yeah, I think people sleep on this Holland team as well. Look at this Holland team as well.
Yes, they got some
Portugal,
good
France, Belgium. There's a few decent sides out there,
Yeah. Did you see Dean Saunders said that he thinks in fairness, I think he was getting a bit fed up with the TalkSport rhetoric that England are going to walk all over Wales and stuff. But he's basically said he thinks England are going to bottle it in the early knockout stage because the pressure's on them. They haven't won for 4 or 5 games.
Well, they've got it. They've got the easy way. They've got Iran first, then they've got USA, then they've obviously got us last.
Yeah.
So by then they might have been even qualified. We both might be qualified.
Quick, very just on a side topic on that. If Wales win their first 2 games, so they're through, would you play the fringe players against England? So, would you give Joe Allen a game who's come back from injury? 100%. Would you play all the players?
Change it
Ruben
all.
Cornwell.
I wouldn't change it all. The ones that are the fit lads, you can keep playing them. Obviously, just give them 60 minutes. But yeah, I'd give it as many people because you might need them.
Yeah,
and you might need throw them in.
Get Harry Wilson in there for Aaron Ramsey and
many players
Ruben,
possibly as you can.
Get Bale a rest.
Yeah, as many players you can. As many players. Obviously, Bale you could rest. You give it. Come on, last 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Give him a little run out, or just rest him completely. You're playing every 3 or 4 games, so
yeah, interesting, mate. So I set you
it's
a
something
task.
You got to keep an eye on, mate. It's something you got to manage.
Absolutely.
But this is why you say Argentina or Brazil because of some of the squads. Even England, they've got strong squads.
Yeah, deep squads as well.
You can start Foden,
Grealish.
You start Foden, Kane, Saka, or you can start Grealish, Rashford, Mount. So
and there's someone else. You missed someone there as well. I can't remember who it was. There's another forward player.
Callum Wilson.
Yeah, there you go. They're so deep, and England have got a few injuries as well. They got a few players in form.
It's the centre halves you worry about.
Yeah, the centre halves.
Yeah, that's why I think
you risk Harry Maguire if you're the guy Gareth Southgate because he is.
That's why I think
not
play
played.
3. But that's what I'm saying. Now they've got it easy because they've got Iran the first game, so Kyle Walker can sit out the first one because they'll probably comfortably beat Iran. But then USA they'll probably need him, and then Wales they'll probably need him.
Yeah, and Luke Shaw's
he gets
hit
out of trouble with his pace.
Yeah. Yes, he covers it, doesn't he? So I set you a bit of a task, mate. The opening game of the tournament is Qatar versus Ecuador. And
barnstorm, that.
Absolute barnstorm. Well, I think Ecuador has probably got South Americans have normally got a few good players. I got to be honest, and you're the expert. I'm just the host, as we discussed previously. But I couldn't tell you one Qatar player. I'm sure that they've got one.
Mohammed. No, I can't remember his surname. One of them's called Mohammed, though.
Cheeky. I'm sure they've got 1 or 2 players playing in the top leagues, I'm sure, but I couldn't tell you any of their players. Ecuador are usually I compare them to sort of like Paraguay, Uruguay. These teams, they're always good technically, and they're always pretty quick, and they'll play decent football. like I'm just looking at their forward line. They've got that Enna Valencia and Michael Estrada. That Valencia must be getting on a bit now, I would have thought, though. They got that Casido in midfield. Trying to think who else I recognise. I don't really Palacios, Felix Torres. Don't recognise a great deal of the Ecuador squad, and that's just me being honest. But it'll be an interesting game, mate. The last time the sides played each other, it was 4-3 to Qatar. That was back in 2018.
A few goals, and it's a good game. Opens the World Cup, and we're off and running, aren't we? And there'll be another game afterwards, so we're off, aren't we?
Yeah. So you got Monday. Let's have a look. Let's bring the fixtures up. So that's the opening game, isn't it? The Ecuador game, which is on Sunday night, 4:00 UK time, and then on the Monday you've got Senegal and Holland from that group. Obviously, Sadio Mane's out, so that's a big blow for Senegal, I think, because I think he's such a big player for Liverpool previously.
Massive blow. It's like having Gareth Bale out in your side.
Yeah,
he's the X factor, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And like we just talked about, Holland's squad is full of young superstars, mate. You know, we talked a couple of weeks back about Memphis Depay has gone from potential to being a genuine. I don't know if I'd quite say
we'll
he's
see,
up there.
We'll see what he's about, because I've seen him at United, and we'll see. He's obviously playing at Barcelona now, but we'll see.
Yeah, I saw him play a bit when he was over in France, and I was very impressed. But as I've said before, the French league is a bit of a. It can be deceiving, can't it? The French league when you've got these players.
People say that, but I disagree, mate. Most of the players that play in the Premier League come from the French league, so I disagree.
Possibly, yeah. But they got
it's not possibly. That's a fact.
I don't know, mate. Like outside of the
most
top,
of the players,
top
most 10. Of the players that are playing in the Premier League have come from the French league. That is a fact.
But then are they coming to the Premier League because the standard in the French league is not great?
No, they're cherry picking the best players out of the French league, and they're all coming here.
Yeah. Holland, like they got that the young lad who plays for United, the fullback Malacio. They got Cody Gakpo of PSV. They got De Ligt and Van Dijk at the back.
We're talking that's over this year. I'm talking over the last 5 or 6 years. The influx of the players
from the French league, you mean?
From the French league, yeah. I actually read that last week. That's what I'm saying with confidence. Interesting
that is, because like I don't watch a great deal of French league football. I got to be honest, but like. That's why.
When that was it. When Gabi Banglahor called.
Oh, mate,
French
don't
league
start me on him.
He called the French league a farmers' league, and then someone come back with the facts with the percentages of the players that are playing the Premier League, and the highest percentage were all from the French league.
Gabi Banglahor is one of the worst pundits that TalkSport have ever employed. He is. Disgracefully bad. Mate, he is awful. You know how we were taking the piss out of Jamie O'Hara and the other one, I can't remember his name now. The other, like a few months back. Yeah, I would take them all day. Give me Jamie O'Hara all day. Gabi Banglahor.
Yeah, as soon as you hear his voice, it's that Birmingham
nasally, and he doesn't sound the brightest.
Shut up, Gabriel, you mong.
He's terrible. Honestly, mate, he's one of the worst pundits I've ever heard. Awful, and his opinions are just half time. They're just bullshit. Like they're just completely wrong. But on the Dutch squad, mate, against so they play Senegal the first game. They would have looked at that as the trickiest game in the group, I think, because you'd expect Holland to beat Qatar and Ecuador, I think. And I think Senegal, they'd have looked at that and thought, all right, we need to be on it for that. Obviously, Mane being out of there is a big plus. They've got a good mix of experience and youth. They got De Ligt and they got Van Dijk at the back. They've got Frankie de Jong in the midfield. They got Depay. And then you've got like Malacia from United. You've got Gakpo from PSV. There's another one who's a name I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, a midfielder. So they've got a really good mix. I think the way Van Gaal tries to play football suits Dutch footballers. It didn't suit the Premier League, didn't suit United, but I think it suits these Dutch players who play a certain way. They're very technical. How far can Holland go in this tournament, mate? Do you think?
I tell you, they've just named them. They're probably in the top 8. Eight of teams who can win it. Them 8 teams that I've just named, but they're France, Belgium, Argentina, Brazil, England, Holland. Who else would they name? Portugal, Spain.
Spain, Portugal, Argentina, Brazil.
Yeah, it could be France.
Belgium,
could be that 8 or 9 teams. So Holland are in there.
Oh yeah, once you get to the quarterfinals, it's going to be really tricky.
You could come first and get a team that's just getting running, but come second, a really strong side, and be unlucky and get someone in the last 16. You just never know how it works. You just got to once the group stage is over, then it starts getting going, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then
knockout stages. The group stages are good, but it starts getting going when the knockout stage is going, gets to penalties or extra time, it gets nervy, and you feel that tense atmosphere.
Yeah, and I think it's different as well because the league's like
after days, though, there's no flags out, no flags hanging out of cars or none of that business this year. Great,
loving that. Interestingly, I think it could depend on the players, the 4 players who are in form, because it's like bang in the season. Like, for instance, I mentioned Luke Shaw earlier. He is at really good form at the right time. And it's like days later that he's now going to be playing for England. But you're going to have players hitting the ground running, but then you might have players like Joe Allen, who hasn't played a game of football all season. You've got players like Harry Maguire, who's played 1 or 2 and not done very well. They may struggle against the players who have been playing.
Because these experienced players, they can get away with it. Your experience sometimes can get you away with it when you've been in this situation, and he knows the group, knows the way how they're playing. He's comfortable with everything. He's experienced. He's been about Joel, and he's been international for years. He's played at Liverpool under pressure, in pressure situations. So I have no issues with Joel. And maybe it's so much a young player, or Keith Moore Golden Boot. But no, I have no issues with someone like Joe Allen, because your experience, like I say, will get you through it.
I actually think Joe Allen won't play for Wales until the knockout stage anyway. I think.
Yeah, you bring him the last 20 minutes, keep the ball, keep things safe and experience.
I don't think he's fit for the first game anyway. But equally, I think Ethan Ampadu, if you moved him to holding midfielder, which I think is where his future will be, like against USA, I think that's the perfect player because he's aggressive and quick, and he's exactly what Wales could do with, I think. But I think they like him in defence at the moment, so he'll probably play there. But I would like to see him in that holding midfielding role. However, Craig says, and that's what I was about to say, Joe Allen did do a full training session today, but he hasn't played. And I just think asking him to play against United States put in a performance is too much.
Coach, as a manager, if he's been out that long, you're not going to throw him in the deep end. You're going to give him 30 minutes, so look at him to come on last 20, 30 minutes to get some minutes, and then possibly start the second game and getting ready for USA or Iran, and then obviously be up and running for the England game if needed. He needs to play. Yeah. But yeah, he won't start in the first game. Not at all. No chance.
No. And like you'd hope that Wales could get ahead, and then he could bring him on towards the end to give him some game time.
Either way, he can come on last 20 minutes, draw, losing, winning. Yeah. He's that experienced. You tell him to do a job, and he's going to go on and do it.
Yeah, interesting. Like I've seen a few people saying, and Craig's just mentioned it there. Wales are the lowest ranked in the FIFA rankings. They're the lowest ranked in the group. However, to me, I think Wales should beat USA and they should beat Iran. Really, on their day, they shouldn't beat England, but you never know because it's a weird game. Like, how do you, mate? Is that my like kind of Welsh? Have I got my Welsh head on there? Am I being a bit
No,
too?
100%. If all teams play to the maximum, then Wales will beat USA and Iran comfortably, in my opinion.
Yeah,
England,
I think so too.
England not so much, but Wales have got to play well.
Yes,
Play well, that they'll beat both teams, in my opinion.
I think so as well. But I see a lot of people on social media and saying Wales are the lowest ranked team in the group.
Who cares about that?
They struggle.
Yeah,
FIFA rankings are meaningless, in my opinion.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. We've just watched the UFC fight of the 5 ranked just knocked out number 1, who's been number 1 for 3 or 4 years and unbeaten.
Yeah, who's been the champion forever and ever.
Yeah. So,
Rob Boyle says the USA game for Wales is make or break for the qualification. Do you agree with that?
The first game?
Yeah.
Yeah, a draw or a win is a must. Not if we lose, then
we're under pressure, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean,
if we lose, we don't qualify.
Yeah, and I think if you look back to the Euro 2016, the first opening game against Slovakia.
Yeah, your first game is the most important one. You've got to get a good start. If you get beat, then you
don't want. At the
pressure.
end of the day, you don't want to go into the England game needing to win to stay in the tournament. Simply because when on paper, even just look at the squads, look at what England have left at home.
Because if USA beat us, and then England obviously beat Iran, and then obviously the last game will be Iran and USA. So.
Yes. Pressure would be on.
Still think England will still need to win that or at least draw it to top the group. So and even if, like we said before, England's squad's pretty strong, so it doesn't really matter who they have. Do
you think England could end up being a bit overconfident?
It's nearly 20 past 8. Go on,
I know, mate. Yeah. This is the last thing now, and then we'll do quick prediction from the Super Six, and then we'll wrap it up, mate. But do you think England could slip up in terms of qualifying out of the group? Because
No.
USA beat Iran. I think if USA get a point against Wales,
no, if they don't get out of that group, Gareth Southgate would be sacked before he even touches England ground again. If they don't get out of that group, are you taking the mick?
But that's what I'm asking you. Is there a danger?
No disrespect, Wales, Iran, and with the team that they have, come on.
Well, they should be, but I think
Euro Cup finalists, they should be getting out of there comfortably. I expect them to at least get 7 points, and the draw is against us because they do rest a few teams, and it's a bit. But they could still easily get 9 points.
So, but what I would say is, right, the Wales versus England game is different to any other game in the group, but it's because it'll be much
at the end when it doesn't really count.
But it does. If Wales and USA draw, they both beat Iran, and then if USA was to get a draw against England, say, suddenly that last game becomes. I know that, but I'm just saying it's not as simple as England beat USA, England beat Wales, because I think both USA and Wales will be bang up for the England game.
If we're a team, we should beat. Mate, listen to what you're saying. We've just had a conversation saying if Wales are ranked lowest, but if we play well, we'll beat England. England are probably much better than us, so they will beat USA.
Yeah, I agree with you. They should, but I'm just saying that USA will be bang up for it.
I know what you're saying, but I just can't see it. But it could happen. It could happen. They could be the USA could have their game of their lives. Iran can defend for their lives. No one expects San Marino to score 15 seconds into a game against England.
No one expected Iceland to beat England.
Yeah,
and knock them
exactly. Iceland are a bit better than Iran, but USA probably on par. Pulisic, Ream, They've got some Premier League players in there. MLS isn't as crap as it used to be. So there's some good quality there. So they're going to be a good team, mate. They're going to be lots of energy. They're under pressure in their own country to come out of this group. So yeah, it's a lot of pressure on them as well.
Yeah,
you know what they're like. You know what the Americans are like. USA, all that crap. So yeah,
they'll be up for the England game, mate, and they already think
they'll be
beat
up for every
Wales.
game, mate. They'll be up for every game.
They already think they've beaten Wales. I speak to my American mates all the time about it. They think Wales is like a 2-3-0. Question before we do the Super Sex. Rob Boyle says, what does Rhodri think of Gabby Agbonglahall's comments about no Welsh player would get in an England 30? Not the squad, a 30. We've already said he's a bit of a bellend.
Gareth Bale walks into that squad now. He's talking shit.
Who else gets in it for you? Ben Davies?
Ben Davies, yeah. Is he better than Chilwell? Yeah. So yeah, you get in that squad. I think
Aaron Ramsey?
Aaron Ramsey gets in.
A fit Aaron Ramsey gets in.
Yeah. The keepers, I don't think so.
Who else is
Rondon, possibly. And
Brennan Johnson?
Possibly. Brendan Johnson.
Who's the guy who plays for...
Not now. Not yet.
Who's the guy who plays for Bournemouth, the centre-back, who's been outstanding this year? Meepham. There's a conversation to be had with him. Nico Williams, mate. Williams.
But they're strong for right-backs, so aren't they? So is he better than Trent Alexander? No. Is he better than James? No. Is he better than
Trent Alexander?
No. Is he better than Trippier? No.
No,
so,
maybe not.
Yeah,
I think in a couple of years he'd definitely get in. I think now it would be a couple of years, consideration.
You've got some experienced players there. Trippier's flying at Newcastle. Trent Alexander at Liverpool. James at Chelsea. So yeah,
Trent Alexander, mate, is a liability.
Yeah, but he's probably the best distributing right back that's been for a bit. Just needs to work on his defending. What's his job? But Conor,
I'm not having that. Rob just said Nico Williams could do a better job at left back than Luke Shaw. Not having that at all, unfortunately.
Yeah, no,
at the moment,
Trippier's just as good at left back. That's why he's been took. So yeah, Kieran Trippier is a really good player.
So, yeah, really United should have signed him when they had the chance.
Come on, mate.
Super 6, England versus Iran.
Half of it already. Go on.
England versus Iran. What's the score going to be?
3-0 England.
I've gone 3-0 England as well. I've done mine. Senegal versus Holland. I've gone 2-0 Holland.
2-1 Holland.
USA versus Wales.
2-1 Wales.
Yeah, that's the same as me. I gone. Argentina versus Saudi Arabia.
5-0.
5-0. I've gone 3-1 Argentina. Denmark versus Tunisia.
Denmark 3-1.
2-0 Denmark for me. And then lastly, Mexico versus Poland.
1-0 Poland.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 Mexico. Right, guys, Rhodri's going to chip off now. I'm going to hang around for 10 minutes and answer some questions and talk a bit about Wales and whatever. But Rodders is going to shoot off. Mate, appreciate you joining us and stuff. And we'll see you next week when the World Cup will have begun. And we'll be talking the first games.
We'll have to do a watch-along on one of them. Maybe the England-Wales one.
Yeah, that'd be a good one, mate, that would. Yeah,
right.
Let's do that. Right, sweet, mate. Nice one, mate. Take it easy, my friend. Right, guys, if you've got any comments, questions, all the rest of it, get them in and I will answer them. I'll hang around for 10 minutes. Doesn't have to be World Cup related. Just it's a one-man show for 10 minutes. Ask your questions, speak away. Let's get this overlay off the way. Anything football related, podcast related, whatever you want to talk about, let's talk about it. Let's go, my friends. Let's have a look at some of these comments. Comments. I don't know, Leslie, what's going on with Middlesbrough? I couldn't tell you what's going on. Let's have a look, shall we? Leslie wants to talk about Middlesbrough. Couldn't even tell you what their last couple of results have been. As always, guys, when it goes to a one-man show, I need your help. Need you to send the questions in. I'm going to hang around for 10 minutes or so. So if you want to get involved, get involved. Rob Boyle, if you want to jump in, give me someone to talk to, you can jump in for 10 minutes. Send me a messenger and I'll send you the link. Leslie says, Borough playing well at the moment. We beat Norwich away recently. Well. Let's have a look. Bit of a renaissance. Cannot believe, by the way, talking about Championship, cannot believe that Cardiff City didn't try and get Nathan Jones from Luton, and now he's gone to Southampton. Absolute joke, mate, ladies and gentlemen, because he would have come to Cardiff if they'd asked him. When they sacked Morrison, Nathan Jones should have gone to Luton and said, we want to speak to your manager, paid however much it was going to be, and then he wouldn't have gone to Southampton because he'd have already been at Cardiff. Absolute joke. A shout out as well, by the way, to ex-Wales, Swansea, Villa and Middlesbrough defendant Neil Taylor, part of that great Welsh squad which qualified and got to the semi-finals of the Euros in 2016. He was a great defender for Wales, a really good fullback. He's retired. Unfortunately, picked up a few injuries, but I really used to like him. Mbappe's been linked with Man United. Leslie, you're right there. Look, if they get rid of Ronaldo, which looks very likely, they're going to have 500 grand a week wages to spend. What better way to appease the fans than to sign him? Would he come? I don't know. But I tell you something, with the squad that they have already built and got in place, you put Mbappe at the peak of that, like as the number 9, that is a frightening prospect, I think, for how is Michael Carrick doing, Leslie? Tell me what you make of him as the Middlesbrough manager. Sounds like you're saying he's done a pretty good job. We'll have a look at their form now. And we'll get Rob Boyle to jump in now, so I've got someone to talk to. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy as ever to speak to you people. I haven't done many podcasts recently that, like, apart from with Rhodri, they've been very, very quiet on the podcast front. Leslie says Michael Carrick's doing an excellent job. He's got him playing. I said he did, like, I thought he did a real good job with United when he was the, whatever you want, caretaker manager. And I felt like if someone would give him a chance, I thought there was potential there. But for Cardiff, when we were discussing managerial options, I felt like it was a bit of a risk just because Cardiff was still possibility of going down. Middlesbrough's form is quite interesting. They've won 3 out of their last 4, drew the other one, and they're up to 14th in the league. Yeah, so he's obviously doing a pretty good job. The more I think about the Nathan Jones thing, depresses me. Leslie, how far do you think England will get in the World Cup? Because I know you're quite a pessimistic England fan. You think they're overrated, etc. Like, how far do you think it's possible that England can get, Leslie? I'm genuinely interested in that because, and I think they're like kind of overrated, really. Excuse me while I find where's Robert? Where is he? There he is. Robert Boyle, how are you, my friend? How are you, mate?
How are you, Beth?
I'm all right, my friend.
I'm rough. How are you? I am, Beth, not gonna lie.
Oof. I can't believe you suggested Nico Williams is better than Luke Shaw. He will be eventually. Eventually, I believe he will be, but not at the moment, especially the form Shaw's in. Shocking, mate.
Nah. You've been hanging around Rhodri too much, you have, that.
How far do you think England can get in this World Cup? If you take off your Welsh blinkers.
Yeah.
How far? Because I think, right, if you look at the pool of players that England can pick from, I think they've got the biggest pool of quality footballers, not world-class footballers, but quality footballers in the world.
Yeah, pound for pound, mate. They've
got the biggest pool to pick from of like Premier League or that level top players out of any other country.
I think, and the thing is, the good thing about them now is they got that togetherness. It doesn't seem to be like the club rivalry like it was 10, 15 years ago, does it? You know, where and a lot of ex-players have spoken about, haven't they? Where United players would stick with themselves, Liverpool players stick with themselves, etc. They all seem to be more of a collective group. The thing is, I don't agree with the Callum Wilson call-up. I would have gone Tony over that.
Well, I think one of the reasons I think actually that Tony didn't go, have you seen he's been...
Because the betting.
Yeah, he's been charged with the betting thing. So I think that might have played something into it. But Callum Wilson is... And I know Tony is as well, which is unfortunate. But they're both banging form. And I think ultimately, I said the other week, didn't I, that Wales, England, whoever, every team should be trying to take one striker who's not first choice, who's banging form, because you want that someone who's just
absolutely right,
banging form to come off a bench. And if England need a goal, they can chuck Callum Wilson up there.
What's the most positive England fan in the world, Leslie, think, Dan?
He says he actually likes Harry Maguire.
What?
So he says he likes Harry Maguire. He says, obviously, I hope we do well, but I guarantee we'll fall at the final hurdle. I think the World Cup is a whole different level to the Euros, because I think, one, you've got the likes of Argentina, Brazil, you've got the South American teams, which are really obviously strong. But also, I think, like I was speaking to someone the other day, there's potential that if Wales were to qualify, they could end up playing Senegal. And I think that's I think it's it could work out. We'd play Senegal or Holland. Now, if we played Holland, I'd be confident that we could give them a game like we have recently in the 2 games we played in the Nations League. Not saying we'd beat them, but I'm saying you never know. We shouldn't have beat Belgium, but we did. On a one-off game, I'd be confident we could play them a good game. Whereas the African teams, we've got little to no experience of playing them. We don't play them in friendlies. We don't play them in the Nations League or anything like that. So, it's a whole different...
When was the last time Wales played an African team? Christ. Did you see, apologies if you already covered this earlier, but do you see Sadio Mane's out?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, mate. Come on. Catch up, mate. Come on.
Oh, sorry, mate.
You're only on for 10 minutes, mate, and you're talking about stuff we've already talked about. Come on, man. The bookies make England 4th favourites. Wow. I see. It's difficult, isn't it?
Brazil, Argentina, France.
Yeah, I just think I was looking at the Argentina side, mate. They got some players in there, but they got some really good defenders as well. So I just think it's tricky. Years ago, the African teams, like Egypt and people like that, they used to get absolutely smashed in the World Cups, but it's just not the case anymore. These teams have got Mane is one of the best forwards in the world. So him being out is a big, big blow for Senegal. But it's difficult. I just look at the list of teams and the groups, and I think most groups are relatively predictable. Group A, you're going to have Holland and Senegal, I'd expect to go through. I'm just saying, Rob, I think most groups are relatively predictable in terms of who's going to go through. So Group A is Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, and Netherlands. I'd expect Senegal and Netherlands to go through. However, as I said at the start of the show, Ecuador, Paraguay, these sorts of teams, they're always pretty good technically and quite quick.
Yeah.
Never know, but I think Senegal and Netherlands go through. And then Group B, I think England and Wales go through, but I think England have a potential to slip up if they're not professional and they're not on it, because both Wales and USA will be bang up to play England. And if they drop points against those two, they're suddenly under pressure, because you'd expect all Wales, USA, and England to beat Iran. And then if Wales and USA draw, England could suddenly be under pressure. However, as I said, I think England and Wales should go through, but USA, I think you can't rule out as well.
They're no mugs, but USA are
no.
no mugs.
They're not, but I just think if Wales turn up, they should beat USA and they should beat Iran. They should, mate.
Mm.
If they're not beating those teams, then they don't deserve to go to the next stage. USA, mind, like I said a minute ago, they think they've already beaten. They think Wales is a walkover. So
that's fine.
Group C: Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Poland. I think Argentina and Poland probably, but you can't rule out Mexico. And even the Saudis have got a couple of decent players. So you cannot. It's a difficult group. I think Argentina and Poland probably would go through, though.
I got a feeling.
I
think Argentina goes out and it'll be Poland and Mexico to go through.
Come on, mate. Messi, Dybala, you got Martinez and Otamendi in defence.
We will talk about this soon. How long till the group stages end? 3 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks.
Something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised. If someone big's going to go out early,
of all the teams, you think Argentina's the team to go out? Seriously?
Yeah, they got it in their locker.
Can't have that, mate, at all. I'm shocked.
Who do you think's the biggest team to fall, first of all, then, in the group stages?
I'll tell you in a minute. We'll keep going through the groups and I'll tell you what I think. But I'm just going to, the Argentina squad, right? Di Maria, Messi, Lautaro Martinez. So you've got a bit of experience there. You've got Dybala. You've got, then you've got what's his face? Martinez, who plays for United in defence. You've got Romero, plays for Spurs. Otamendi, Molina from Madrid. You've got McAllister, who plays for Brighton. He was a really good player.
Most Argentinian name known to mankind.
Yeah, I know, isn't it? Julian Alvarez, who plays for Man City. They got so many superstars, mate. Right. So who do we think is going to go? I think Argentina and Poland will qualify for that group. But Mexico and, there's potential for an upset there. Then you've got France, Australia, Denmark, Tunisia. That's a bit of a ropey one, that is, mate. I'd expect Tunisia to probably go out, and then Australia, France, and Denmark. Group D:
France,
Australia,
Tunisia, and Denmark.
France will go through. Denmark, Australia.
Australia.
I think Denmark will go through. I do. They've got a lot of experience at tournament football. Group E: Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan. I think Germany and Spain would be disgraced if they went out of that group, let's be honest.
But Japan, no mugs.
No, then they've got some good, top players at top clubs, but Spain and Germany should qualify from that group.
They should walk that group. They should walk it.
Group F: Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. Belgium should go through, and then I think that group is tight. Croatia should, but you just don't know, do you? Croatia.
Do you know what Morocco's going to turn up?
Yeah. Group G.
It's going to be a couple of big teams to fall back, and
I'm gonna have a look now and see what I think. Group G: Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. That's an hard group.
That's a big group, that, isn't it?
So, as much as I think Brazil are going to go far, there's potential for them to go out in the group stage.
Yeah.
They've done it. They've failed before. They play Serbia as a tough physical game. Switzerland and no mugs, and Cameroon and no mugs. You'd expect Brazil to go through, and I think then it's out with, and you can have any of the other three. But I think there's room for a slip up.
That'll be it. I think that'll be one of the games of the round. That will Brazil, Serbia.
Be an interesting one. That will.
That'll be a physical game. That will.
Group H is Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea. Jesus. No Son, though, is it? No. I think Uruguay and Portugal go through from that. They should.
Yeah.
But
I think
mate,
Son's
Ghana, mate,
different story.
no mugs. Ghana is good side. South Korea got a couple of decent players. No mugs. I think Portugal will get to at least the semi-finals, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them get to the final. Especially because Ronaldo's angry, and I just got a feeling he's going to end up getting the golden boot. But we'll see.
He'll either be class or he'll be dog shit.
Yeah, he looks like he might be out with the first game because he's got an illness, but we'll see, I guess. I'm just right. So I look at these groups. I said it to Rhodri just now. He won't have it in at all. I think there's potential for England to go out of the group, and I tell you why. There's potential that England could go out to the group stage, and I tell you why.
Of course, Roddy's not agree with that.
Well, he just said, like, you know, if you look at it on paper, like, basically they should just go out. But so the first game, right? Say Wales, USA draw. That's a point each, and then Wales beat Iran, and USA beat Iran. England beat Iran. USA draw against England. That means that if Wales and USA won the last games, England go out without any major shocks, really. USA will be bang up for playing England, mate. They'll be so up for it. And I just think, same with the Welsh game. If there's anything on the Wales game, like Wales-England game, if there's anything on that, it becomes trickier for England than it is for Wales.
Yeah, it needs to be a job done before they play Wales. It's got to be job done before they play us, haven't they, I think.
Yeah, but I feel the same for Wales. I don't want to play England needing to get a point or a win. So I'd like to beat Iran, beat Iran and Wales, and obviously USA play Iran when we're playing England, which means, you know, if the pressure could be on, mate. There's potential is all I'm saying. USA and no mugs. They got some, you know, Pulisic and a few other players who were decent.
Did we play in a friendly not so long ago?
Not sure, but Craig just said USA drew with Uruguay twice in qualifiers. So I mean that shows you that they got something about them because Uruguay is good. I look at that group, mate, and there's no way I see Argentina going out of that group because they've smashed. You know, they beat Saudi Arabia comfortably. Let's have a look at the order of their fixtures. I just can't see it, but now you've mentioned it. I got to have a proper look. So that's interesting. The Poland game is the last game of the group. So Argentina play Saudi Arabia first. They should win that. Then they play Mexico, which is obviously a South American derby. Could be
South American derby. It's a thing.
Just make it a thing. So, like, Argentina, if they they take 3 points against Saudi Arabia. Say them and Mexico draw, they've still got 4 points going into the Poland game. So, I mean, I just don't see how they don't qualify.
I'm living rent free in your head now.
Yeah, you've pickled me because I can't believe you'd be so ignorant. I can't believe I invited you on the show to talk and you talk bollocks. Right.
Question for you.
Hold on, quick one. Come on. Fire.
Calm down, mate. So who's the next round then? So Wales get through. Winners or runners?
Holland or Senegal is from that group.
Shit.
Yeah, Senegal or Holland. So, and that's what I was saying. In some ways, I'd rather play Holland, even though they're the better side. But I think if you're given a choice, you've got to choose to play Senegal, haven't you? Like, if you had to choose who you were going to play to stay in the World Cup, I think you'd fancy Wales to beat Senegal more than you'd beat Holland.
Yeah.
Like, if you played them 100 times, you'd expect Wales to beat Senegal more than they beat Holland, if that makes sense.
Especially about Mane.
Yeah.
Mane is a different story.
Yeah, God, yeah. Yeah, I just... I'm trying to look at these groups. Like, so Holland definitely going to go through from their group. England should go through from their group. Argentina go through from theirs. Maybe France, because like if they got a few players out, like Pogba and a couple of others.
They got it in their locker, haven't they, to mess up.
Craig, correct. You are correct, because it should be calling them Netherlands, not Holland. That's like just because I'm used to it from when I was little.
You're racist.
Yeah, well, there's no need for that. France, it's got a few injuries. Denmark are good. Australia can be good. And look, all these teams qualified on merit as well, as we've got to remember. So, like,
Qatar.
Yeah, apart from Qatar, they're not there just to make up the numbers. So maybe France could be the big name to fall in the group stage.
I mean, anything can happen, can't it? Like
that Spain group, mate, looks tricky. Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan. Like you said, Japan got some good little footballers. Costa Rica pretty good these days. Not amazing, but they got some good footballers.
The keeper Navas.
Yeah. Could Germany or Spain crash out? You never know. I think. Did you see the thing about Spain? So De Gea didn't get picked, did he, for the Spain group?
Didn't he?
For the Spain squad, which is incredible in itself. But
wow,
so
I didn't know that.
The head of the Spanish FA or whatever contacted him the day after the squad was announced and said something like, "Congratulations on your retirement from international football, blah 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 blah," and he hasn't retired.
Shit!
What a prick! Like, what a prick move that is, isn't it?
Wow, what a dick move that is, Pat.
Disrespectful, mate. And you cannot tell me there's 3 Spanish keepers who are better than
no
De
way,
Gea.
that.
Not a chance.
I'm no Man United fan the slightest, but he's still probably one of, if not the best keeper in Spain.
Mate, he's one of the best keepers in Europe.
Yeah,
easy. Spain, like, he's been awesome for United this year again. So,
dick move that is.
Isn't it? Like Belgium are going to walk their group. Croatia, that could go out, I suppose. Brazil will walk their group.
Croatia's an Asian team, though, really, isn't it, as well?
So, in my opinion, the biggest teams in danger of going out on paper, in my opinion, are Uruguay, Croatia, Germany, and Spain, just because of the group they got. France,
Argentina.
No chance. And then that's it. That's pretty much it. I see all the others going through pretty comfortably. I would like to see Wales and England qualify, but I don't think. In my one side of my heart says, and I said it earlier, I think on with a full squad and everything, Wales should beat USA and they should beat Iran. I don't care what the rankings say. We should beat both those teams. But we've got a couple of injuries. Is Ramsey and Bale fully fit? And it might take them a couple of games to get going. However, they always turn up when we need them in the big games. So it's also their last World Cup, certainly Bale's, and I would think Ramsey's as well. So they're going to want to go out with a bang.
I know it sounds like a negative ninny, but I can see us beating America and then just going on to lose to Iran, something like that. God. Do you know? I wouldn't be surprised. I don't mean to sound like a negative dick. What?
I said emotional damage. You're trying to upset me.
Emotional damage.
I feel you're trying to upset me.
What's that?
You're just trying to upset me now, aren't you?
Yes. I haven't seen you for ages, so I'm gonna make up for lost time. Just
trying to upset me, like fucking lose to Iran. Well.
No, would you be surprised though? Would you be surprised if that happened?
It's a pretty Welsh thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Lose to Iran and then go and beat England.
Yeah, look, I can see us doing America 1-0 or something like that, and then we go and lose 1-0 to Iran or something stupid like that. I don't obviously want that to happen, but that'd just be a proper Welsh thing to happen, wouldn't it?
I do, however, think Wales got a bit of experience in tournaments now. This group of players,
definitely, yeah. I'd love to know how much that helps.
I would like to think we could go into the England game with both teams pretty much qualified, and then they could give Ruben Corwell, they could give Harry Wilson, they could give Danny Ward or Hennessy, whichever one's not playing. Like, because you never know when you might need them players later in the tournament.
Yeah, didn't Ruben go to the Euros?
He did, and didn't play 1 minute. He didn't even play in that game, which didn't matter, which was a bit frustrating. Craig makes a point, just as I'm about to wrap up. He says Iran recently drew with Senegal and beat Colombia. I mean,
they've got a striker, isn't it? It's the striker from Porto, I think. I couldn't tell you what his name is. Dali or something like that. But Craig will probably know it.
Yeah, we shouldn't underestimate him. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that Wales should be looking to beat Iran. Like, I just think they should beat them.
Maybe I'm stupid, sorry, which is strong.
I just want to say, mate, as well, Colombia aren't the same Colombia side of like.
No.
We were
with James Rodriguez and Falcao and all that. They're not the same.
It's not the same level, but still, you know, they beat them, and they've drawn with Senegal, so they've clearly got something about them. Haven't they got a British manager? I'm sure they've got like an ex-Premier League.
I think you're right, mate.
I think
you're bang on there. I can't think who it is. I think you're bang on, mate.
Sorry. No. Yes, mate. Go on then quickly because I'm finishing up now.
All right, man. Chilly knickers. So who's in like Iran's qualifying group, Ben?
Oh, God, you want me to look at everything?
Come on, you should be a fountain of all knowledge. You should know it.
I'm the host. Rhodri's the expert, isn't he? He's the one who does all the research. Iran's World Cup qualifying group. What was it?
I've got a feeling it's like New Zealand and stuff, isn't it?
World Cup qualifications. Right. So their route to come on, man. So their fixtures to qualify for this World Cup was Syria, United Arab Emirates, South Korea, Lebanon. Yeah. Come on. Of course they should qualify for them.
Fuck me.
Carlos Queiroz Craig says is the manager. Yeah, that might be where I was getting confused.
It's a different team member. I know we're on about. There's definitely a country.
Yeah, it is Carlos Queiroz.
There's definitely a country with an English manager who's not obviously managing an England team. I can't think who it is. So
yeah, I think, look, first and foremost, Wales have got to get something from the American game. A win would be perfect, but I think it's essential they don't lose. If they can get a point, I still think if you get a point against America and you get 3 against Iran, that still be enough to qualify. Just depending on how, because I just don't know, mate. Because like Craig's made me kind of question myself a bit with Iran, and I'm thinking maybe they won't be the walkover that everyone thinks, because everyone's assuming England's going to beat them, we're going to beat them, USA's going to beat them. But imagine they go and beat England or get a point against England in that first game. That's going to open that group up.
Could you imagine the scenes? I think.
Well, mate, look at it this way, right? If in that first game on Monday, Wales and America draw and Iran and England draw, that group is literally there for the taking from any of the teams. And that's what I mean. Like, whilst England should not go out from that group, I don't think it's as simple as England plus one other team. Be interested, mate. Because England haven't won a game as well for like 4 games, 5 games.
Imagine if it's America and Iran go through, like, Jesus.
That'd be fun. But like, yeah, well, England haven't won a game for like 4 games. They're bang out of form. They got a few injuries. Harry Maguire's barely kicked the football, and he's been there. Like, he's been in the team of the tournament for the last 2 tournaments, but he hasn't kicked the football. So, like, do they risk playing him? I think they will, because Southgate loves his favourite.
He's going to play that.
Cough it up, mate. Cough it up.
Oh, but I'm so rough.
Right. Going to wrap it up there. Nice one for jumping on, mate, because Rhodri had to chip off.
Always a pleasure, buddy.
Wanted to do a little bit more talking because I haven't done much podcasting of late. But going to leave it there for now. I'm going to be dropping like a load of shows on the main channel in a week or two. I'm just going to drop like 30 podcasts. Just drop them all, and people can just watch them at their leisure. Because I've had enough. So I'm just going to drop them all and say, there you go. Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas. Enjoy your dinner. Good night. God bless.
Tina's going out.
See you next year. Nice one, mate. Nice one to everyone who joined us. Join us again next Thursday for the football show. We'll be talking about the first games of the season. We also might have an ex-Cardiff City legend. Not necessarily a Cardiff City legend, but an ex-Cardiff City footballer, current footballer as well, joining myself and Rhodri. Maybe. I'm working on it. Teasing you. But we'll be back on Thursday. We're going to do some watch-alongs throughout the World Cup as well. So look out for them. Take it easy. Spread the word. Tell the people to watch Rhodri Giggs on Football Thursday nights. Nice one.